Shall I tell you how happy I am that you joined us for this interview and how absolutely thrilled I am to have Francine Staple as my guest, security and safety consultant, but it couldn't hold on the screen and she was insistent that we should say former ward of the state. Why is that so important to you?
It is important because as young girls out there and young members of who are wards of the state, I want to be a role model for those persons and show them that they can move from rags to riches.
Before we continue on that line, let's talk about your mother. You're one of 10 children, and she gave away all 10 of you? How is that possible?
Well, what I've been told is that during her years, during her marriage, she had problems within the marriage and she suffered a nervous breakdown and she gave us all away. And I really find that, you know, I've forgiven her. I put myself in understanding the issues of life and see why she could have made that decision. But I know that having met her, she's a wonderful lady. And many years later, in 2009, I took her off the streets. And I've had many conversations with her, and she has turned out to be a lovely lady. I wish I had her other mother.
Ah, she gave you to a woman in Gordon Town. How old were you when you went there?
I was 2 years of age.
What was that experience like with Miss Lyd?
Yes, she is. I think it was a savior for me, but also I think it was a life that I think I would not have wanted to live again. I think I've read a lot in books. I was exposed to reading a lot of books when I was much younger. And because of that, I built up a fairy tale story in my head of how girls should be living. And I wanted to be a part of a conventional family. But what I learned from living with Miss Lyd is that, as we usually call her Mammy, is that I've learned some good, important values of life. I've learned to cook. I've learned to spread a good bed. I have learned to wash my clothes. I know to press my clothes. I am a good organizer because I had to get up in the mornings to take her down to the shop. She had a cook shop that she operated.
But she was blind.
Yes. Well, I had to take instructions from her in terms of giving her all the ingredients, and all I had to do was drop those dumplings in the pot. But
she made them.
She made
based
all
on the
of them.
instructions
Yes.
she gave you and what you gave to her.
And she had instilled a lot of values in my head at the time. Who do we choose to date as men? What do we look for in women? There are days when I had to listen to you on Morning Ride. Yes. I had to listen to Doreen and Alan. Those were a must. The radio was turned on just for those things. We had to listen. How we had to speak properly. I had to join the Jamaica Library Service. I had to read. I had to read the Gleaner, what was happening. And I can remember vividly in the 1980s when there was the uprising with that terrible election. I had to read every story to her from the Gleaner and make her know what is happening. So this is why
You value the years you spent with Miss Lyd.
Yes.
What school did she send you to?
She sent me to St. Martin, the Porus Primary, and that's a little bit below in Gordon Town, down from the shop. It's a Catholic school. I did very well there. I passed my common entrance for Excelsior, and I even entered the Gleaner Children's Own Spelling Bee competition. I just got a copy of that original Gleaner from the Gleaner recently.
You ran away, though, when you were 12. Were you still living with Miss Lyd when you ran away?
Yes, I was.
Why?
I think it got hard because we had other persons living in the house, and I didn't like beatings. I feared beatings. I had a face-to-mouth, and I think the beatings were too much, and I could not deal with the hard work. I think it was too much work for me as a little girl, and I think I wanted a different life.
So where did you run to?
I ran away. I slept in a PWD truck overnight.
Hold on, did you just get up and run, or you planned to run away?
I think I planned it, because I'm a planner. Persons who know me know that I'm a planner, and I'm a good executor of my plans. And I ran away. I slept in a PWD truck for the night. And then, because of my exposure to reading the Gleaner, I knew about the Women's Center. And I went to the Women's Center, spoke to Inez Morrison, and she indicated to me, you know, she asked me what was happening, and she indicated to me that she had a friend in the court system, and it was Madam Justice Madge Morgan, and she made a call to her and sent me up to the family court to speak with her. And having appeared before Justice Morgan that day, she told me that she has a friend who is a part of a home, and she's going to call her to see if they have any space there. And if they do have a space, then they will take me.
And that was how you got to the
and that is
Elsie Demond
Home for Girls.
Long Lane.
Long Lane.
How many years did you spend there?
I think I left there at 25 because I went back as a house mother at some point.
Hang on. At what age should people leave?
18.
But things happened.
Things
happened. You're going to Excelsior High School while you were there?
Yes.
But you never graduated. What happened?
I got pregnant at 17.